I'm making a change today. The liquor been taking the pain away. I heard you was giving your chain away. That's kind of like giving your fame away. What's wrong with you? I sit in a box with our owners.
All right. What's up, Broskiis? It is it's Clarence on the beat today, and I'm coming to you with a updated Predaplant. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm kind of silly, a little goofy sometimes, and like I had to fuck around and like fucking 2-0 Keanu real quick, like just blitzed him. He was like, he was like, give me no. Well, what order did the wins go in? He said, I want a rematch right now, and then he got a win. But I mean, we know who really won. So we're just gonna jump right into it because I mean, you guys already know what it is. Like off the rip, you know I gotta give some love to my boy, triple Ophrys Scorpio. I'm not gonna say this is the best card in the deck because it's not, but it's a key starter, of course. You know, pitch a monster, bam, Darlingtonia Cobra. Easy special summon from the deck, and I found if I've already used Darlingtonia Cobra's effect, it's pretty easy to get out any of the other monsters that I need. There are plenty of really great options out there anyway. So whether you're going into Cobra or something else, really strong card altogether. The only thing to do is just be mindful of the resource management, because of course, you can probably guess where I'm going with this. Like, Predaplant is very resource oriented, and it doesn't have a whole lot of ways of replenishing your hand other than cards like Byblisp. And if you run anything else that needs resource management, then you got to play it really safe here. Next up, triple copy of Byblisp. And real quick, any fusion, any polymerization card, any of them. It just want to go ahead and just put that out there. But Byblisp, one of the strongest options in the game for sure. Of course, everyone knows if this is sent to the grave, really easy way of just throwing some extra, into your hand, some extra Predaplants. But little do many people know, if there is a monster with a predator counter on it, you can just special summon this from the grave. It will be banished when it leaves the field, but it's also, you can special summon this card. You got 2 Byblisp in grave and 1 thing on the field with a predator counter on it, you can special summon both of them. That sounds like fusion material for me, but maybe that's just me. Next up, double copy Sundew. It's just a super poly. That's all it is. Anything with a predator counter, you can fuse. Any of your monsters you can fuse, including from your hand, which not everything that we have here will fuse from the hand, as you'll see. Another great example of something that does, of course, Bufo. 2 effects on this pendulum card. The first, of course, is in the pendulum scale, where it is a fusion. It is a clean, clear polymerization. That being said, be mindful, you can only fusion summon dark monsters with this card. I've seen some people like trying to fuse into some nonsense with this. You can't just fuse into anything, strictly dark monsters. And when it is sent to the extra deck or the graveyard for a fusion summon, you'll actually be able to recycle one of the dark pendulums you have in your extra deck, namely Predaplant Triantis. This card right here, 2 very sick effects. 1 lets you fuse using cards into your pendulum zone. So, you know, you open up and you got these 2 bad boys, you can just fuse them off right there. Like, not even use your normal summon, you already know what it is. And when this card right here is used as fusion material, it does a sick, like, monstrous thing where the number of cards, the number of monsters you have on the field, you can place that number of predator counters on the field. Absolutely insane. Really sets you up to use cards like Sundew, or to bring out your Byblisp. Oh, damn, that wasn't the one. The Byblisp, real easy, or some of the cards that are in the extra deck that you'll see a little later on. Next up, new edition, Staysailor Romarin. So this card right here, we haven't actually had this in a build yet, And so I'll take a little bit of time to kind of talk through it. It is a tuner. You know what that means. But ultimately, quick effect, target one face-up monster you control, send one other plant monster you control to the graveyard, and if you do, the next time that targeted monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, it is not destroyed. Truth be told, I don't use that effect. There's not a whole lot of reason for me to just summon out Staysailor. The main thing is, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send one level 5 or lower plant monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Staysailor Romarin once per turn. Of course, as you know, Staysailor, very easy to get in the grave and then drop that Predaplant Byblisp, which lets you get into your next card. Just depending on what your hand is looking like, you know, you make the choice that works best for you. Next up, you already knew what it was. Fallen of Albaz, another super poly. You might be thinking, how many super polys can you run in one deck? Well, you're about to find out. Next up, after that, Aluber, single copy. I really don't necessarily need multiple copies. I mean, if I draw into it, I can just normal summon it and get the branded fusion, or whatever else I might want to grab at that point. Or, you know, if I get something like branded opening, then that might just be an opportunity for me to send something like Romarin or something like Byblisp, of course. Oh, damn it. Keep misinterpreting how far it is. So, you know, pretty sick card. Plus something that a lot of people don't really super use, but I've been really getting into recently, is if a fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while this is in your graveyard, target one effect monster your opponent controls, special summon this card, and if you do, negate those that target's effects. I feel like a lot of people don't use that effect, and I feel like it's kind of dumb because it's a free negate and a free body on board. Another dark, which gives you a lot of opportunity for many things in your extra deck. I know what you're thinking, damn, I guess those Bestials are next. No, Dark Magician is next, actually. I'm not gonna explain why. I have no reason to like explain why Dark Magician is here. We all know why he's here, because he's the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. You find me another wizard who can get over that 25 stat. Do you know one?
Dragoon.
It's
pretty fucking easy.
Next up, triple Ash Blossom. You already know what it is. We don't deal with that Feet Blossom nonsense in here. Shout out Ty, but like, it's whatever. Honestly, I like, of course, Ash is like great, you know, stop that ad one. But the other day when we were playing, you were like special one from deck, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop that too. So make sure you read your cards. You already know, like, you can do a lot. I don't even know what all's playing right now. Like, I don't know what's like super meta right now, but pretty much anything like mirror match, Ash, that's gonna be the key victor. What else is really gonna pull through a win for you on that mirror match or pretty much any match? Damn, triple Veiler. Now, like, I know what you're thinking. Why would you play Effect Veiler in this day and age? Because Effect Veiler has been one of the most broken cards in hand trap history, and you can't convince me otherwise. Of course, if you're not super privy to using this right here, I do think you can use other cards like, I'd say Ghost Bell would be like fair, or Ghost Ogre. Ghost Bell, if you like are confident that they're only going to be special summoning, but
Imperm might be better.
Yeah, you could run an Imperm, and that's really just kind of like, you know, of course those are
play around the triple tag.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. That being said, like, we're not worried about triple tag here, mainly because we'll hit him with that Droll. We'll hit him with that Droll and Lockbird, and we can ask people, like, you know, straight up, like, is it a dick move to run Droll and Lockbird? No. I don't think so, because realistically, based on
right now it's necessary. So
yeah, like, based on like the current state of the game, like, you kind of have to do what you can. I was half-assed tempted to replace you know, not necessarily Droll, but maybe Effect Veiler with like a Max C. Triple
This is not
Max C. Triple Max C, triple, oh no, they only have 2 call by in that, right?
Yeah.
Fuck around and get that call by. Don't let me act up. Next up, you already know what it is. Triple branded fusion. Remember, you can get this with your Darlingtonia Cobra, and I'll talk about another way you can kind of get this out other than that and Aluber. If you know, stick around that long. It's only a little bit longer. Of course, you can send anything. I'll talk a little bit more about configuration once we get to the extra deck, but after that, branded opening. Branded opening, of course, really great way of dumping something from your hand. Really awesome way of getting that Aluber out, getting that branded fusion in hand, really popping off all the way. Another thing, just like Aluber, I feel like people don't utilize branded opening second effect, and they're kind of dumb for it because it's free protection.
Yes, they do.
I don't see. I have seen a lot
Yes,
of people.
they do.
I see a lot of people
do
forget
it.
about it.
Just kidding. Oh,
I see people
my
forget
God.
about it. Next up, I have 2 copies of Predapractice. I don't use it that much, but it is really nice when I'm like kind of in a bind. Like, you know, I haven't really bricked with this deck configuration at all, mainly because if I get into this and like one Predaplant, that's, you know, everything I need to set up everything in the world. But you know, sometimes you need a little bit extra draw power, which is why I incorporated 2 triple tacks. And you know, I'm really proud of myself for this because I made a commitment and I bought these 2. Like, I like went into the store and I was like, I'd like 2 copies of triple tack, and he was like, you want to thrust with it? And I was like, damn. It's like, buy a guy a drink first, all right. Next up, we're going into our fusions. Ultra polymerization. Now, I've seen some people use ultra polymerization for sure, but I don't see it get as much love as like super poly or even regular polymerization. Definitely gets more than greater, but you know, secondary effect to banish this and special summon your targets back out or your materials back out, that's crazy. Really is like a perfect card for just about any fusion based deck, but you know, that's up for you guys to decide. Next up, super polymerization. 1 copy, and you know, I said earlier, how many super polys can you have in one deck, and you're about to find out. Well, again, it's 2, what's it called? 2 Sundews, 3 Albaz. No, it's 2 Albaz.
2 Albaz.
So, you know, that's 5. And Ultra Poly, you can't respond to it. So that's kind of 6, really. It's kind of 6. Next up, Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion, broken. We're not going into that. Next up, Branded Banishment, which is like my absolute favorite. That's like my favorite branded card in existence. If I were to add anything else, like if I were to say anything else like kind of goes hard, maybe like Branded Lost, but only because like I really love the artwork for the card. Next up, this is the secret sauce. Predaplanning. This card right here, busted. So pretty much activate, send 1 Predaplant monster from deck to grave. You already know where I'm going with this one, boy. Send it to grave, and it'll place predator counters on everything on the field. On your opponent's field, actually. Oh no, it's each face-up monster on the field, yeah. So everything on the field gets a predator counter, and if you fuse into a dark monster while that card's in the graveyard, you can just blow up one of your opponent's cards. You gotta banish it for cost, but I think it's well worth it. Plus, it sets you up for, again, our monstrous extra deck. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and bring out this copy of that. I'll bring out that copy of that. I'll bring out that copy of that. I'll bring out like some hard cards that I like to incorporate or that I like to highlight in this at this point in time. Oh, man. Bam. Cool. So starting out with our Predaplants, I have Predaplant Triphyovertum. This card right here, crazy, of course. This card right here will gain attack. The attack of every monster on the field with a predator counter on it. You can also stop, you can negate the summon of one monster from the extra deck, destroy that monster. Additionally, if there's something on the field with a predator counter while this is in the grave, special summon it out. It's a really great game winner, game ender, game closer, whatever you want to say. It really does just kind of punch over people. And so if I have to deal with anyone that is, you know, kind of hard to deal with, I might just try to slap this on board. It's a really great super poly target too. Whether you're using standard super poly or you're using Sundew, which is ideal, that's kind of the plan. Next up, our secondary big Predaplant is our Starving Venom Predapower Fusion Dragon, Omni Negate, and you can use predator counters on the field as your cost, right? So you place predator counters on the field, your opponent's got one on there, tribute that monster off, Omni Negate, bam, that's crazy. Next up, you already know what it is, double copy Dragostapelia, places predator counters on the field, shuts off the activated effects of all monsters with predator counters on them because they then become level 1. You already know what it is. Next up, Chimerafflesia. You guys, of course, have seen this card since you first started messing with Predaplants. One thing that I love about it is that, you know, of course, you can just banish one monster with a level equal to or less than this card. It's a level 7. That's going to be a lot of cards. You're going to be able to get rid of a lot of problem cards with this, unless of course they can respond. Otherwise, I do like to just go straight into battle with this card because at the end of the day, it's going to drop your opponent's monster by 1,000. It's going to gain 1,000. It's kind of crazy. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, the standby phase after it was sent to the graveyard, you can add one Polymerization spell or fusion spell from your deck to hand. So same effect as Darlingtonia Cobra. And I feel that people don't often use that. Now, for a little while, I was, I was really excited about Staysailor because of course I didn't read all the way. Fortunately, I never made the mistake. But since you can send one from the extra deck too, I was like, yeah, you can do that. Remember, you can't do that. This is too high in level, but it's really easy to get engraved too. Star of the show, most broken card of the show is Melodies. You already know what it is. Hits the field immediately. It's ready to grab a predator or a Predaplant from your deck, a Predap card from your deck. You can tribute one monster on the field or one monster with a predator counter on it, and special summon a Predaplant monster from your deck. So same as your Fusion Dragon, you can utilize your opponent's monsters. If you have predator counters on the field, that's great. And I think that's the best way of using Ultra Polymerization. I think Melodies is great. Really just does extend things in the way that, you know, you'd really like to. Additionally, Predaplanning, again, sets you up for cards like Melodies, cards like Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. And now we're gonna get into some of our more generics. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, I don't think we have to go too much into detail about that, but I like it to play more defensively sometimes, or just to land another big punch, because it's really easy to get into this and something like Triphyovertum if you really just need to punch over someone. Next up, Garura. That card right there, I mean, we saw firsthand the other day, like, I'll fuse into this, fuse it off again just to get that extra draw. I won't even need it. I'll just be greedy. Like, I mean, I don't know. What's that greedy dragon? It's like a starving.
It's just called Starving Greedy Dragon.
Like, that's me for real. That is me. Next up, Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera, I don't use for, you know, for like a big boss monster because I don't run Polymerization in here. So it's not like, you know, it's not gonna have the built-in protection or anything. That's just not the case. But it is a really easy way to draw some additional cards, to maybe, you know, pop some cards off the field, get rid of some problems, and it's really easy to get into, given how much you can kind of pull things into your hand. Next up, branded cards. 2 copies, Albion. You already know. what I do for that is I'll use Staysailor. I'll use that branded fusion, get your what's it called, get your Staysailor, go into Albion. You can refuse with that if you'd like. But of course, that Romarin going into the grave will mean you can send a Predaplant. You can send that Byblisp. Next up, Lubellion. Lubellion's great, of course, you know. My primary thing if I'm going into Lubellion first is like I'm probably going into Dragoon. Spoiler alert, there's Dragoon in here. And no, I didn't put him in generic because what would I do that? He's anything but. Next up, Mirror Jade. Again, easy card to play a little bit defensive with to get rid of some problems. Plus with the additional Albion and the ability to use Lubellion, very easy to just smack some cards here and there. And finally, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Easy. What you might have noticed is there are only 14 cards here. There's room for expansion, there's room for some change. It's really just up to the player and the specific style of play they want to go for. I'm thinking of adding a Sanctifier. That being said, I think it's expensive, right?
I don't think that one is, no.
I just haven't picked it up, basically. But you know, that's what I'm playing with right now. It's been pretty solid. I blitzed Rogelio the other day. Shout out Rogelio if he's watching the video. I hope he's watched this far. But yeah, that is my current build. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. I've got a, you know, triple D, now quadruple D that like I've been working on for like 6 years now. It's in the works, it really is. But like, you know, you guys let me know what you're thinking, how you feel about the deck.
20 likes for the combo video.
Yeah, I'd say like a good, I'd say 25 actually. A good 25, and I'll drop a sick little combo. And you guys can know all about this, the greedy little ways that I'll be playing. In fact, I might even play Greedy Dragon. I might even throw that bad boy in there. So yeah, let us know, like the video if you'd like, and you know, we're on the way to $1, so you know, get us there. We'd really love it. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.